The showers were always coldest at 5 a.m. Olivia stood under the weak stream, watching rust-colored water circle the drain. She'd learned not to close her eyes anymore. Not here. Not in Redfield Correctional. The tile was cracked beneath her feet. Someone had carved initials into the grout, MR 2019, and Olivia wondered if MR was still alive. Probably not. The tiles held secrets like graves held bodies. She heard it before she saw it. A footstep. Too heavy. Too close. The water shut off in the next stall. Then the one after that. Then the one after that. All of them. Synchronized. Olivia's hand froze on the soap. The fluorescent lights hummed above, casting everything in sickly yellow. Steam rose from her skin, but her blood ran cold. 4 women stood between her and the exit. They didn't speak. They didn't need to. The one in front, Marissa Chen, 20 years in for second-degree murder, held a sharpened toothbrush behind her back. Olivia could see the tip glinting, wrapped in electrical tape for grip. Amateur work. Desperate work. If you're wondering whether we'll do it, a voice came from her left, low and raspy. Don't wonder. Olivia's throat tightened. The water dripped from her hair, each drop loud as thunder in the silence. She'd known this was coming. You always know when the ecosystem shifts when you've been marked. She just hadn't known it would be today. Or what? I didn't touch your stash. Her voice came out steady. Small miracle. Marissa's head tilted, almost curious. This isn't about that. Then what? You talked to Corrigan yesterday. Officer Corrigan. 40-something, graying temples, wedding ring he twisted when he was nervous. He'd pulled Olivia aside after yard time, asked her questions about B Block. About who was moving what. About whether she'd seen anything unusual. She'd said no. She'd said nothing. But apparently nothing wasn't enough. I didn't tell him anything, Olivia said. You stood there for 11 minutes. The voice from the left again. Shanice, built like a linebacker, in for aggravated assault. We counted. 11 minutes. Olivia's mind raced. What had they talked about? Weather. His daughter's soccer game. The broken heating vent in her cell. Nothing. Absolutely nothing of substance. But in prison, perception was reality. And she'd been perceived. The walls pressed closer. Water dripped somewhere, steady as a heartbeat. Olivia calculated distances, angles, chances. 4 against 1. She was 28, in decent shape, but Marissa had killed before. So had the others. They'd do it again without blinking. Listen to me, Olivia said, voice dropping. Corrigan asked about B Block. I told him I never go there. That's it. That's all. You expect us to believe that? Marissa stepped forward. The toothbrush caught the light. I don't expect anything. I'm telling you what happened. A 5th woman appeared in the doorway, Tanya Rodriguez, 3rd shift trustee, supposed to be mopping the hallway. She nodded once to Marissa. All clear. No guards coming. Olivia's heart hammered against her ribs. This was real. This was happening. But then something shifted in Marissa's expression. A flicker of doubt. Or maybe calculation. You got family? Marissa asked. The question landed like a punch. Olivia thought of her sister, Emma. 15 years old when Olivia went in. 23 now, living in Portland, working as a paralegal. Emma sent letters every month, long, rambling updates about her life, her boyfriend, her dreams of law school. Emma didn't know the truth about why Olivia was here. Nobody did. Yeah, Olivia whispered. I got family. Marissa studied her face. The seconds stretched. The toothbrush remained raised. Then you understand, Marissa said finally, what we're protecting. And just like that they left. All 5 of them. Silent as they'd come. Olivia's legs gave out. She sat on the wet tile, water still dripping from the shower head above, and tried to remember how to breathe. If this story grips you, hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss what happens next. The commissary line moved like molasses. Olivia stood 3rd from the front, watching the woman ahead of her argue about a discrepancy in her account. $3.47. The guard behind the window, Burton, young enough to still believe the rules mattered, refused to budge. System says you spent it, Burton droned. Not my problem. The woman's hands clenched. Olivia saw her jaw work, saw the decision form and dissolve. Don't fight. Never worth it. The woman walked away empty-handed. Olivia stepped forward. Williams, Olivia. 8847B. Burton typed without looking up. You got $17.50. Toothpaste, soap, and a notebook. No notebooks left. Shipment got delayed. Of course it did. Everything in Redfield was delayed, denied, or destroyed. The machinery of punishment ground slowly, but it ground everything down eventually. Just the toothpaste and soap then. Burton slid the items through the slot. Olivia took them, feeling the weight of eyes on her back. She'd been watched since the shower incident. 3 days now. Constant surveillance from women she'd never even spoken to. She was a variable. An unknown equation in a place where survival meant certainty. Back in her cell, Olivia found her cellmate, Diane, sitting on the bottom bunk with her head in her hands. Diane was 56, in for embezzlement, 18 months into a 5-year sentence. She cried every Tuesday, the day her ex-husband had visitation with their grandkids. "You okay?" Olivia asked, though she knew the answer. "He's taking them to Disney World." Diane's voice was muffled. "Posted pictures on Facebook. Sarah saw them. Sent me printouts." Prison was full of small cruelties. The big ones, violence, isolation, loss of freedom, those you expected. It was the small ones that hollowed you out. Birthday parties you'd miss. Holidays spent in 6x8 cells. Watching your family learn to live without you. Olivia sat on the top bunk, organizing her meager purchases. The toothpaste tube was dented, probably dropped during transport. The soap smelled like industrial cleaning solution. These were the luxuries she'd budgeted for all month. "Marissa came by earlier," Diane said quietly. Olivia's hands stilled. "What did she want?" "Asked about you. How long we've been selling together. Whether you talk in your sleep. What you keep under your mattress. Inventory." They were taking inventory. "What did you tell her?" "The truth. That you're quiet. Keep to yourself. Don't cause problems." Diane looked up, her eyes red-rimmed. "Olivia, what's going on? Why are they asking about you?" "I don't know." It was a lie. Olivia knew exactly what was happening. She was being vetted. Tested. They were deciding whether she was a risk or a resource. And she had no idea which outcome would be worse. That night, lying in the dark, Olivia listened to the sounds of the prison settling. Metal doors clanging in distant wings. Someone laughing high and manic. The ventilation system groaning. Footsteps in the hallway, guards making rounds, their boots heavy on linoleum. Her mind drifted to the conversation with Corrigan. She replayed it frame by frame, searching for the moment she'd made a mistake. "Williams, got a second?" "Yes, sir." "How's B Block been lately? Heard there was some tension." "I wouldn't know, officer. I don't spend time there." Right. Just keep your ears open, yeah? Anything seems off, you come find me." That was it. That was all. But in Redfield, even neutrality was a position. Silence was a choice. And every choice had consequences. Olivia thought about her sister's last letter. Emma had written about taking the LSAT, about her boyfriend proposing, about planning a wedding for next fall. She'd asked if Olivia might be eligible for temporary release to attend. The answer was no. Would always be no. Because Olivia wasn't in Redfield for embezzlement or assault or even murder. She was here because she'd made a deal. A trade. Her freedom for Emma's future. 3 years ago, Emma had been driving drunk. She'd hit a pedestrian, a 52-year-old accountant named David Marsh, father of 2, walking home from dinner. He'd died on impact. Emma had been hysterical. Olivia had been in the passenger seat, sober, clear-headed. And when the cops arrived, Olivia had done the only thing that made sense. She'd said she was driving. The prosecutor had been skeptical. The evidence had been murky. But Olivia had been consistent, unshakable, and eventually they believed her. Or maybe they just needed someone to punish, and Olivia had volunteered. 8 years. Vehicular manslaughter. Parole possible after 5. Emma didn't know. She thought Olivia had been driving, thought her sister had made a terrible mistake. Olivia let her believe it. Better that than the truth. Better that than Emma carrying the weight of 2 destroyed lives. But now, lying in a prison bunk, Olivia wondered if she'd made the right choice. Because protecting Emma meant surviving Redfield. And surviving Redfield was starting to seem impossible. Breakfast was oatmeal, gray and congealed. Olivia ate mechanically, not tasting. Around her, the cafeteria buzzed with its usual chaos. Arguments over seats, trades of contraband, laughter that held no joy. Marissa sat 3 tables away watching. Olivia kept her head down, focused on her tray. "Don't engage. Don't provoke." "You're being paranoid," Diane whispered beside her. "She's probably looking at something else." But Olivia knew better. Predators didn't stare at nothing. They stared at prey. After breakfast, Olivia had laundry duty. The basement of Redfield smelled like bleach and mildew, the washing machines ancient and temperamental. She loaded industrial-sized drums with orange jumpsuits, gray uniforms, bedsheets stained with things she tried not to think about. The work was monotonous, meditative almost. For 2 hours she could pretend this was normal. Just a job. Just laundry. Then Tanya Rodriguez walked in. "Need to talk," Tanya said, no preamble. Olivia's stomach dropped. "I'm working. Won't take long." They stepped into the supply closet, cramped, smelling of detergent and rat poison. Tanya closed the door. "Marissa wants a meeting," Tanya said. "About what?" "You'll find out. Yard time tomorrow. Southwest corner. And if I don't come?" Tanya's expression didn't change. "Then Diane might have an accident. Slippery floors in the shower, you know. Tragic." Olivia's blood turned to ice. "Diane has nothing to do with this." "Exactly. Which is why you'll come." Tanya left without another word. Olivia stood in the closet, surrounded by bottles of bleach and industrial soap, and felt the walls closing in. They'd found her pressure point. Of course they had. Everyone had one. In prison, your weaknesses were currency. She thought about telling a guard. But which one? Corrigan? The man who'd already painted a target on her back? Burden? Too young, too naive. The others were either corrupt or indifferent. No, she was alone in this. Tomorrow in the yard, she'd find out what Marissa wanted. And she'd have to decide how much of herself she was willing to trade to keep Diane safe. How much of herself was left to trade at all. The yard at Redfield was a rectangle of cracked concrete surrounded by 20-foot fences topped with razor wire. Guard towers stood at each corner, manned by officers with rifles and boredom in equal measure. Olivia walked the perimeter, passing clusters of women smoking contraband cigarettes, playing cards, doing deals. She kept her pace steady, her expression neutral. The southwest corner was near the basketball court. Marissa waited there, leaning against the fence, arms crossed. Shanice stood beside her, massive and unreadable. "You came," Marissa said. "Didn't seem like I had a choice." "There's always a choice." Marissa pushed off the fence. "Question is whether you can live with the consequences." Olivia waited. The sun beat down, unseasonably warm for October. Sweat gathered at the base of her spine. "I need something delivered," Marissa said. "To C Block." "I don't go to C Block." "You will now. Laundry cart. Tomorrow morning. You'll drop off sheets, pick up the dirties. Standard rotation. Except you'll make an extra stop. Cell 47. Woman named Garcia. You'll give her a package. What's in it? Not your concern." Olivia's mind raced. Drugs. Had to be. Or contraband phones. Something valuable enough to risk using an outsider, someone not already part of Marissa's network. "Why me?" Olivia asked. "Because you're nobody. Guards don't watch you. Other inmates don't know you. You're invisible. And invisible is useful." It was a compliment and an insult wrapped together. Olivia had spent 2 years in Redfield trying to be exactly that, invisible. And now it was being weaponized. "And if I say no?" Marissa smiled. It didn't reach her eyes. "Then I guess we'll see how careful Diane is in the showers." There it was. The threat, spoken plainly. Olivia felt rage bubble up, hot and useless. She swallowed it down. "One delivery," Olivia said. "Then we're done." "One delivery," Marissa agreed. "Then we'll see." That night, Olivia lay awake again. Diane snored softly below, oblivious to the bargain struck in her name. The cell was dark, but Olivia's mind burned bright with possibilities, probabilities, consequences. If she got caught, it would add years to her sentence. Conspiracy. Drug trafficking. Whatever was in that package, it was enough to bury her. But if she refused, Diane would pay. And Olivia had already sacrificed too much to protect people she cared about. She couldn't do it again. Couldn't watch another person suffer for her choices. So she'd deliver the package. One time. One compromise. And pray it didn't cost her everything she had left. The laundry cart was older than Olivia, its wheels squeaking with every rotation. She pushed it through the corridor toward C Block, her movements practiced and unremarkable. Just another inmate doing her job. The package was taped under the bottom shelf, wrapped in plastic the size of a deck of cards. Olivia had checked it that morning, her hands shaking. She couldn't tell what was inside, pills maybe or SIM cards for phones. Something small, valuable, illegal. C Block was quieter than B Block. The women here were older, serving longer sentences. They'd learned that noise attracted attention, and attention was rarely good. Cell 47 was midway down the tier. Garcia sat on her bunk, reading a paperback with a broken spine. She didn't look up when Olivia stopped. Laundry, Olivia said, her voice flat. Leave it. Olivia set the clean sheets on the floor, picked up the dirty ones. Her hand moved automatically, retrieving the package, tucking it into the fold of gray fabric. Garcia's hand shot out, taking the bundle. Her fingers brushed Olivia's, calloused quick. Then it was gone, hidden somewhere in the cell's shadows. Good girl, Garcia murmured. Olivia's skin crawled. She finished her route mechanically, returning to the laundry room without incident. No guard stopped her. No alarms sounded. She'd done it. Crossed a line she'd sworn she'd never cross. And the worst part? It had been easy. That afternoon, Marissa found her in the library. Redfield's library was a joke. 3 shelves of donated books, mostly romance novels and outdated textbooks. But it was quiet, and Olivia had taken to hiding there when she needed to think. Clean work, Marissa said, sitting across from her. Olivia didn't respond. I've got another job for you. Next week. Different block. You said 1 delivery. I said we'd see. Marissa leaned forward. You're good at this. Natural. Be ashamed to waste that. I'm not interested. Your cellmate, Diane, right? She's up for parole review in 6 months. Be terrible if something happened to her record. Fight with another inmate. Contraband in her cell. These things happen. Olivia's hands clenched beneath the table. You're threatening me. I'm offering you a job. Good pay. Protection. Respect. Things you need if you want to survive here. And if I refuse? Marissa stood, her chair scraping against linoleum. Then you'll learn what happens to people who refuse. She left Olivia alone among the dusty books and broken dreams. Olivia stared at the words on the page in front of her, some thriller about a detective and a serial killer. The irony wasn't lost. She was trapped in her own kind of thriller now, except there was no detective coming. No clever solution. Just choices. All of them bad. She could report Marissa. But to whom? The guards were either bought or indifferent. The warden cared about budgets and public relations, not individual inmates. And if Olivia became known as a snitch, Diane wouldn't be the only one in danger. She could comply. Become Marissa's courier. Deliver packages, earn protection, survive. But that meant becoming exactly the kind of criminal she tried so hard not to be. Or she could refuse and take the consequences. Hope Marissa was bluffing. Hope Diane stayed safe. Hope was a dangerous thing in prison. The fight broke out during dinner 3 days later. Olivia was at her usual table when the shouting started. 2 women from D Block, arguing about a stolen blanket. Voices rose. Guards moved in. Then someone threw a punch. Chaos erupted. Tables overturned. Trays clattered. Guards blew whistles, called for backup. Olivia pressed against the wall, trying to stay out of the fray. She saw Diane across the cafeteria, frozen in fear. And she saw Shanice moving toward her, purposeful, predatory. Olivia didn't think. She moved. She reached Diane first, pulling her toward the exit. Shanice followed, but the crush of bodies slowed her down. They made it to the corridor, guards shouting behind them. Lock down. Everyone to your cells. Olivia and Diane ran, footsteps echoing. They reached their cell just as the alarm sounded. A piercing wail that meant everyone had 15 seconds to get inside before the doors automatically locked. They made it. Barely. The door clanged shut. The lock engaged with a mechanical thunk. Diane collapsed on her bunk, breathing hard. What was that? What just happened? Olivia knew. It had been a message. Shanice moving on Diane during the chaos. Too convenient to be coincidence. Marissa was showing her power. Showing Olivia what she could do, even in the middle of a riot, even with guards everywhere. Nothing, Olivia lied. Wrong place, wrong time. But Diane wasn't stupid. Olivia, what did you do? I kept you safe. From what? Olivia sat on the top bunk, her hands shaking now that the adrenaline was fading. From this place. From the people in it. From everything. By doing what? And there it was. The question Olivia had been avoiding. Because the truth was ugly and speaking it out loud made it real. I made a deal, Olivia whispered. With Marissa. I delivered something for her. And now she wants more. Diane's face went white. Olivia, no. You can't. If you get caught. I know. Then why? Because she threatened you. Because I've already lost everything else. Because. Olivia's voice cracked. Because I'm tired of people getting hurt because of me. Diane climbed up to the top bunk, something she rarely did. She sat beside Olivia, their shoulders touching in the cramped space. This isn't your fault, Diane said softly. Isn't it? Prison makes us do things. Makes us compromise. But that doesn't mean we're bad people. How do you know? Olivia's eyes burned. How do you know where the line is? Between surviving and becoming the thing you were trying to survive. Diane didn't have an answer. Nobody did. They sat in silence as the lockdown continued, the alarm eventually fading to silence. Through the small window, Olivia could see the sun setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and red. Beautiful. Despite everything, the world was still beautiful. She thought about Emma's wedding. About promises she'd made. About the person she'd been before Redfield, before the accident, before she'd learned that love sometimes meant sacrifice, and sacrifice sometimes meant damnation. Tomorrow Marissa would come with another job. Another package. Another compromise. And Olivia would have to decide, once again, how much of her soul was worth trading for another day of safety. The answer, she was learning, was always just enough to keep moving forward. Just enough to survive. The second delivery was to B Block, cell 23. A woman named Chen, no relation to Marissa, just coincidence and irony. This time the package was larger, wrapped in layers of plastic and tape. Olivia didn't look inside. Didn't want to know. She made the drop during her morning shift, hands steady now. Experience had taught her the rhythm. The casual approach. The unremarkable exchange. Nobody stopped her. Nobody questioned. She was becoming invisible again, but in a new way. Not the invisibility of irrelevance, but of utility. A tool. A means to an end. It should have bothered her more than it did. After the delivery, Olivia found Marissa in the yard. It's done. Good. Marissa handed her something. A small bag of coffee, real coffee, the kind commissary didn't sell. Contraband currency. Next one's Friday. How many more? As many as I need. Marissa studied her. You're adapting well. Better than I expected. I don't have a choice. Sure you do. You're choosing Diane. Choosing safety over principles. That's still a choice. Olivia wanted to argue, but the words died. Because Marissa was right. Every delivery was a choice. Every compromise was a decision. And she was making them, one after another, like stepping stones across a river. Except instead of reaching the other side, she was just getting deeper into the water. There's something else, Marissa said. Bigger. Next month. I'll need you to hold something in your cell. Just for a few days. What is it? Better you don't know. Plausible deniability. If it's in my cell, Diane's at risk. Diane's at risk anyway. This place doesn't do safe. Marissa's expression softened, just slightly. But if you do this, I'll protect her. Real protection. My word. Your word. Olivia laughed, bitter. What's that worth in here? More than most things. And the terrible part was Olivia believed her. Because Marissa had power, and power in Redfield was the only currency that mattered. I'll think about it, Olivia said. Don't think too long. That night, Officer Corrigan pulled Olivia aside during count. Williams. Need a word. Her stomach dropped. Yes, sir. They walked to the end of the tier, out of earshot. Corrigan looked uncomfortable, his wedding ring spinning faster than usual. I've been hearing things, he said. About you. Sir? That you're moving product. Running errands for Chen. Olivia's heart hammered. Play dumb. Stay calm. I don't know what you mean, officer. Cut the shit. Corrigan's voice dropped. I know what goes on here. Hell, half the guards are in on it. But you? You seem different. Smart enough not to get caught up in this. I'm not caught up in anything. Then look me in the eye and tell me you're clean. Olivia met his gaze. Held it. I'm clean. The lie tasted like copper. Like blood. Corrigan sighed. If you were smart, you'd get out now. Before it's too late. Before Marissa owns you completely. She doesn't own me. Not yet. But she will. That's how it works. One favor becomes two. Two becomes 10. And then one day you realize you've been working for her longer than you've been working for yourself. Is there a point to this conversation, officer? The point is I'm trying to help you. God knows why. Maybe because you remind me of my daughter. Maybe because I'm stupid. But if you ever want out, you come find me. I can't promise protection, but I can promise a conversation. He left her there, standing in the fluorescent light, his words echoing. Olivia returned to her cell. Diane was asleep or pretending to be. The coffee Marissa had given her sat on the shelf, rich and dark and wrong. She thought about Corrigan's offer. About getting out. About confessing everything and hoping for mercy. But mercy didn't exist in places like Redfield. Only transactions. Only survival. And Olivia had already made her choice. Friday came. The delivery was to A Block, Administration Wing, where trustees worked and trustees lived. Higher risk. More eyes. Olivia pushed her cart through the corridors, heart pounding. The package was taped to her stomach this time, under her uniform. Marissa's instructions had been specific. Cell 12. Woman named Rodriguez, Tanya's cousin apparently. Family business. The hallway smelled like floor wax and desperation. Guards patrolled here more frequently, aware that trustees had privileges to lose. Olivia reached cell 12. Rodriguez was waiting, sitting on her bunk with a magazine. Laundry, Olivia said. Rodriguez stood, creating a blind spot with her body. Olivia passed the package in the exchange of sheets, smooth and practiced. Then someone shouted, "Hey, you." Olivia's blood turned to ice. Guard Burton, young and eager, walking toward them. "What's going on here?" "Just delivering laundry, sir," Rodriguez said, her voice bored. Burton looked at Olivia. "Your B-block laundry. What are you doing in A?" "Route change," Olivia said, praying her voice didn't shake. "Jackson's out sick. I'm covering. Let me see your assignment slip." Shit. Olivia didn't have one. Marissa hadn't mentioned needing paperwork. "It's back in the laundry room," Olivia said. "I can?" "Empty your cart." The world tilted. Olivia's mind raced through possibilities. The package was gone, handed off. But if Burton searched thoroughly, found residue, found anything? "Sir, I really need to finish my route." "Empty the cart." Olivia began pulling out bundles of sheets. Her hands shook now, impossible to hide. Burton watched, his young face set in determination. Then Rodriguez spoke. "Officer Burton, I think I saw something in C block earlier. Looked like a fight starting." Burton's attention shifted. "Where in C block?" "Second tier. Near the showers." Burton hesitated, torn between investigation and protocol. Finally, "Go back to B block, Williams. And get your goddamn paperwork in order." He left, practically running. Olivia exhaled. Rodriguez smiled, thin and knowing. "Marissa said you were getting sloppy." Guess she was right. Olivia wanted to argue, but Rodriguez wasn't wrong. She'd been careless. Overconfident. And in Redfield, overconfidence was fatal. She finished her route mechanically, returned to the laundry room. Her hands were still shaking when she locked herself in the bathroom and vomited. This was what she'd become. Someone who smuggled contraband, who lied to guards, who relied on criminals to save her from other criminals. And the worst part? She was getting used to it. Marissa came that night, slipping into Olivia's cell during the shift change. That precious 15 minutes when the day guards clocked out and the night guards clocked in. Ghost time. "Heard about Burton," Marissa said. Olivia sat up. Diane was in the shower, giving them privacy whether she realized it or not. "Rodriguez handled it," Olivia said. "Barely. You're drawing attention. That's dangerous." "Then stop using me." Marissa smiled. "Can't. You're too good at this. Besides, I already told you, next month I need you to hold something. And I need an answer." "What is it?" "Phone. Modified. Untraceable. Worth about 5,000 on the outside, 10 times that in here." "Why not keep it yourself?" "Because I'm watched. Always." "But you?" Marissa gestured around the cell. "You're nobody. Random check of your cell, they'll see a nobody with nothing. And if they find it? They won't. Unless you give them a reason to look." Olivia thought about Diane. About 6 more months until parole review. About keeping her safe that long. "How long would I have to hold it?" "A week. Maybe 2. Then it moves on." "And after that?" "After that you're done. Free and clear." "My word." Olivia searched Marissa's face for deception but found only pragmatism. Marissa wasn't lying, she was making a deal. And in Redfield, deals were gospel. "If anything happens to Diane." "Nothing will happen to Diane. You have my word. And unlike most people in here, my word means something." Diane returned then, her hair wet, her face confused. "Marissa, what are you doing here?" "Just leaving." Marissa stood. "Think about it, Olivia." "But not too long." She left like smoke. Diane climbed onto her bunk. What did she want? Another favor. "Olivia, you can't keep doing this. Eventually you'll get caught. And then what? More years? More time?" "I know." "Then why?" "Because I've already given up everything," Olivia thought. "My freedom. My future. My sister's truth. What's one more piece of myself?" But she said, "Because it's the only way I know how to protect you." Diane's eyes filled with tears. I don't want your protection. Not like this. Too bad. They lay in silence, the weight of unspoken things pressing down. Outside, the prison settled into its night rhythm. Distant shouts, clanging metal, the endless mechanical hum. Olivia thought about the phone. About hiding it. About the risk versus the reward. And she thought about Emma's letter, the one that had arrived that morning. Emma had set a date for the wedding. June 14th. She'd asked again if Olivia might be there. Olivia had written back, I'll try. Another lie. But what else was there? The truth was a luxury she couldn't afford. Not here. Not anymore. The package arrived on a Tuesday. Marissa delivered it herself, wrapped in layers of plastic and tucked inside a hollowed-out book, some thriller with a generic cover. The phone was small, flip-style, ancient by outside standards but cutting-edge in Redfield. Hide it somewhere creative, Marissa said. Not in the mattress, not in the toilet tank. Guards know those spots. Olivia turned the book over in her hands. Where then? That's your problem. You're smart. Figure it out. After Marissa left, Olivia studied her cell with new eyes. The walls were concrete block, impossible to hollow out without tools and time. The bed frame was metal, no hidden compartments. The sink and toilet were stainless steel, designed specifically to eliminate hiding spots. Then she looked at the light fixture. Redfield cells had ceiling-mounted fluorescent lights, covered by plastic panels. The panels were screwed in, but Olivia had a metal nail file, contraband from months ago, sharp enough to work as a makeshift screwdriver. She climbed onto the top bunk, using Diane's absence during dinner as cover. The screws were old, painted over multiple times, but they turned. Slowly. 1, 2, 3. The panel came free. Above it, in the gap between the light fixture and the ceiling, was a 6-inch space. Dark. Dusty. Perfect. Olivia wedged the book inside, replaced the panel, retightened the screws. From below it looked untouched. She climbed down, heart racing. It was done. She was officially a smuggler. Officially complicit. Officially damned. That night she couldn't sleep. Every sound made her flinch. Boots in the hallway, voices in neighboring cells, the ventilation system clicking on and off. The phone sat above her head, invisible but heavy. A physical weight she could feel pressing down through layers of plastic and metal and lies. Diane knew something was wrong. You okay? She whispered in the dark. Fine. You're a terrible liar. I'm a great liar. That's the problem. Diane didn't respond. What could she say? They were both prisoners, both powerless, both caught in systems bigger than themselves. The difference was that Diane still believed in eventual freedom. Olivia had stopped believing weeks ago. The cell search came on day 5. Olivia was in the laundry room when the announcement crackled over the PA. B block, random cell inspection. All inmates remain in current locations until further notice. Her stomach dropped. Random. Right. She stood frozen among the washing machines, calculating. The phone had been there for 5 days. 5 days of sitting above her head, silent and incriminating. 5 days of wondering when the other shoe would drop. Now it was dropping. 90 minutes later they were allowed back. Olivia walked to her cell on numb legs, expecting to see guards waiting, handcuffs ready. But the cell was empty. Disheveled, mattresses askew, belongings scattered, but empty. The light panel was exactly as she'd left it. Diane arrived moments later, her face pale. They searched everything. Everywhere. I thought for sure. They didn't find anything, Olivia said, checking the light fixture. Still secure. Still hidden. Oh my God. Diane sat heavily. Oh my God, we're lucky. Lucky. The word felt wrong. Because luck was random and this felt calculated. Like a test. Like Marissa checking to see if Olivia's hiding spot would hold. Or like someone tipping off the guards. That night, Marissa visited again. Heard about the search. Heard? Or arranged? Olivia's voice was flat. Does it matter? The point is your spot held. Well done. You could have warned me. What would be the point? If you knew it was coming, you'd have acted different. Guards would have noticed. Marissa leaned against the wall. This way we know the spot works. And we know you can handle pressure. This isn't a game. Everything's a game. The sooner you understand that, the easier it gets. When does the phone move on? Few more days. Be patient. Marissa left, and Olivia was alone with her rage and fear and creeping realization that she'd been played. The search had been a test of her hiding spot, her nerve, her commitment. And she'd passed. Which meant Marissa would use her again. And again. And again. The phone was just the beginning. On day 7, Olivia was called to the warden's office. Her legs barely carried her there. The warden's office was administrative territory, carpeted and climate-controlled, a different world from the cells below. Olivia had never been summoned here before. Warden Patricia Holloway was 50-something, gray-haired, with the exhausted eyes of someone who'd stopped believing in rehabilitation years ago. She gestured for Olivia to sit. "Williams, how are you adjusting?" "Fine, ma'am." "No issues? No problems?" "No, ma'am." Holloway studied her. "Officer Corrigan seems to think otherwise. Says you've been acting strangely. Nervous. Distracted." Olivia's pulse quickened. "I'm fine, ma'am. Just tired." "Tired?" Holloway smiled, humorless. "We're all tired, Williams. But Corrigan has good instincts. If he thinks something's wrong, usually something is wrong." "With respect, ma'am, Officer Corrigan doesn't know me." "No. But I do." Holloway pulled a file, Olivia's file. "Says here you took the fall for your sister. Vehicular manslaughter. She was driving drunk, you claimed it was you." Olivia's blood ran cold. "That's not." "Oh, I know it's not officially proven. But I've been doing this 23 years. I can read between the lines." Holloway closed the file. "You're a protector. You sacrifice yourself for people you care about. Noble. Also stupid." "Ma'am?" "Because protectors make easy targets. People like Marissa Chen? They smell protectors a mile away. And they use them." The office felt smaller. Hotter. "I don't know what you're talking about," Olivia said. "Sure you don't." Holloway leaned back. "Here's what I know. Someone's been moving product in B block. Multiple someones, probably. And you, Williams, have been flagged as a person of interest." "I haven't done anything." "Then you won't mind if we search your cell." "Thoroughly." Olivia's world tilted. Above her head in her cell, the phone sat waiting. If they found it, not with a random search but a targeted, thorough take-apart-the-wall search, they'd find it. And that would be the end. "Of course not," Olivia heard herself say. "Search whenever you want." Holloway's eyes narrowed. "Interesting. Most innocent people get defensive. You're calm. Almost too calm." "I have nothing to hide." "We'll see." Holloway stood. "You're dismissed. But Williams? Whatever you're into, get out. Now. Before it's too late." Olivia left on shaking legs. She had maybe hours before the search. Maybe less. She found Marissa in the yard. "We have a problem." Marissa listened, her expression unreadable. When Olivia finished, she said simply, "The phone moves today." "How?" "Leave that to me. You just keep your head down and survive the search. And if they find something?" "They won't." "You can't know that." "I can. Because I've been doing this a lot longer than you." Marissa's hand touched Olivia's shoulder, brief, almost gentle. "Trust me." And God help her, Olivia did. Because in Redfield, trust was all she had left. The search came that night. 4 guards, led by Burton, who looked almost apologetic. They tore the cell apart. Mattresses, shelves, sink, toilet. Everything. The light fixture. Burton stood on the bunk, unscrewing the panel. Olivia's heart stopped. He looked inside. His flashlight beam swept the space. Nothing. The phone was gone. Burton replaced the panel, climbed down. All clear. They left. Olivia stood among her scattered belongings, mind reeling. Marissa had done it. Somehow she'd retrieved the phone without Olivia knowing, without anyone seeing. Or Olivia had hidden it so well even Burton's thorough search had missed it. She climbed up to check. Empty. Definitely empty. That night Diane asked, "What's happening? Why are they targeting us?" "I don't know," Olivia lied. But she did know. She was caught in Marissa's web now, fully and completely. And the only way out was through. Or not at all. 2 weeks later, Marissa came with new terms. "The phone worked out," she said. "Clean delivery. Good profit. Your cut is 300 commissary credit." Olivia blinked. 300 was months of earnings. "I don't want it." "Too bad. You earned it. And you'll earn more. Because I've got another job." "No. No." Marissa's eyebrow raised. "You remember our agreement. You said after the phone I was done. I said free and clear. You are. But that doesn't mean you can't choose to keep working." "I'm not choosing. I'm being forced." "Is there a difference?" Marissa leaned closer. "Olivia, you're good at this. Better than good. And you could use the money. Diane could use the protection. Why fight what works?" "Because it's wrong," Olivia wanted to scream. "Because I'm not a criminal. Because I came here to protect my sister, not become the thing I was trying to protect her from. But she said, "What's the job?" Marissa smiled. "There's my girl." The job was bigger, riskier. A delivery to an outside contact. Someone coming in for a meeting with administration, someone who'd slip Olivia something in the visiting room. "I can't," Olivia said. "I don't get visitors." "You do now. Someone claiming to be your cousin. All arranged. And if I get caught? Don't." It was scheduled for Friday. 3 days away. Olivia spent them in a haze of fear and resignation, watching her reflection in the scratched metal mirror and seeing a stranger. This stranger had short hair, hard eyes, a jawline sharp from stress. This stranger smuggled contraband, lied to guards, took orders from murderers. This stranger was who Olivia had become. Friday arrived. The visiting room was sterile, monitored by cameras and guards. Olivia sat at table 7 waiting. The woman who arrived was mid-30s, professional, with kind eyes. She signed in as Rachel Williams, supposed cousin. "Olivia," she said warmly, sitting. "It's been too long." They made small talk, scripted, performed. Rachel asked about life inside. Olivia gave vague answers. Then, under the table, Rachel passed her something. Small, wrapped in tissue. Olivia palmed it, smooth as breathing. The visit lasted 20 minutes. When Rachel left, Olivia returned to her cell, the package burning in her pocket. She didn't look inside. Didn't want to know. That night, she delivered it to Marissa, who smiled and said, "Perfect. See how easy it gets." And Olivia realized she was right. It had been easy. Too easy. She was adapting, evolving, becoming exactly what Redfield wanted her to become. A survivor. A criminal. A ghost of the person she'd been. Emma's next letter arrived in March. The wedding was set. The dress was chosen. Emma was happy. Olivia read it twice, then burned it in the cell's sink, watching the paper curl and blacken. Some truths were too heavy to carry. The end came quietly. Not with arrest or violence or revelation. Just a conversation with Corrigan in the library on a Tuesday afternoon. "I know what you've been doing," he said. Olivia didn't deny it. "Are you going to report me?" "Should I?" "Probably." Corrigan sighed. "My daughter's your age. Did I tell you that? She made some bad choices. Got involved with the wrong people. I couldn't save her from that. Couldn't protect her from herself. I'm sorry." "Don't be. Just learn from it. Learn that protecting people sometimes means letting them face consequences. Letting them grow up." Olivia thought about Emma. About the accident. About taking the fall. "I can't," she whispered. "Can't or won't. Does it matter?" Corrigan stood. "It matters. But I don't think you'll understand that until it's too late." He left her among the books and broken dreams. That night, Olivia wrote to Emma. A real letter this time. Honest. "Dear Emma, I need to tell you something. About the accident. About why I'm really here. About what I did and why I did it. You deserve to know the truth. Even if it destroys us." She held the letter in her hands, reading and rereading. Then she tore it up. Some truths remained buried. For everyone's sake. Marissa came one last time months later. Olivia was different by then, harder, colder, adapted. "I have a proposal," Marissa said. "Long-term partnership. Real money. Real protection." Olivia looked at her. This woman who'd corrupted her, used her, changed her. "No," Olivia said. Marissa blinked. "No. I'm done. For real this time. You can't just walk away. Watch me." Something shifted in Marissa's expression. Respect maybe. Or recognition. "Diane's parole comes up next month," Marissa said quietly. "You've kept her safe this long. Don't ruin it now." "Are you threatening me?" "I'm reminding you what matters." They stared at each other. Two women who'd made impossible choices in an impossible place. "If Diane gets hurt," Olivia said, "there's nothing you can do to me worse than what I'll do to you." Marissa smiled. "There's the Olivia I've been waiting for. Took you long enough." She left. And Olivia understood finally what she'd become. Not a victim. Not a protector. A survivor. Cold. Calculated. Capable of anything. Diane got parole. Left Redfield in April, crying and grateful and free. Olivia stayed. Served her time. Kept her head down. And when Emma's wedding came, June 14th, exactly as planned, Olivia watched through a letter Emma sent, filled with photos and joy and oblivious love. She was glad Emma was happy. Glad someone got out. 5 years, 3 months, and 17 days after she entered Redfield, Olivia walked out. The sun was too bright. The air too clean. The world too big. She stood on the sidewalk outside, carrying everything she owned in a plastic bag, and thought about who she'd been when she went in. That person was dead. And the person who'd replaced her, this hard, cold thing, was all that remained. Emma was waiting at the gate, older now, married, glowing. Olivia. She ran forward, embracing her. God, I missed you. Olivia hugged back, mechanical. Missed you too. Come on, let's get you home. Home. As if such a thing still existed. They drove in Emma's car, Emma chattering about life, work, her husband, plans for the future. Olivia listened, nodding in the right places, saying nothing. Because what could she say? I took your place. I lied for you. I sacrificed everything. And in doing so, I became something worse than what you would have been. No. Some truths stayed buried. Some prisons lasted forever. Even after the doors opened. Even after you walked free. The weight never left. The silence never broke. And Olivia carried it all. The lies, the compromises, the person she'd killed to become someone who could survive. She carried it like Redfield itself. Cold. Heavy. Permanent. Forever. If this story left you questioning everything, leave a like and let me know in the comments what you would have done in her position. Subscribe for more stories from behind bars.